Data from the IPBES Global Assessment tracks a steep acceleration in extinction rates and large-scale devastation of the world's ecosystems, driven by relentless resource demand. This table tracks our progress toward global biodiversity targets, where the heavy concentration of red indicates a failure to meet objectives. These negative trends in nature are now actively undermining 80% of our assessed sustainable development goals. Historically, we have approached poverty, climate change, and water security as isolated issues. We developed separate, highly engineered solutions for each, treating the symptoms of a crisis rather than the system itself. Biologically interconnected crises cannot be solved through politically fragmented strategies. When the underlying natural systems fail, these isolated interventions eventually lose their efficacy. A natural forest operates as an integrated infrastructure system, filtering the water, anchoring the topsoil, and regulating local temperatures simultaneously. Human policy must mirror this biological reality to be effective. We need a unified framework that recognizes nature as our primary infrastructure, a system to be leveraged rather than a victim to be protected. This approach is codified in a specific framework known as nature-based solutions, or NbS. Reallocating global investments from fragmented engineering toward integrated ecological solutions establishes the mathematical foundation required for planetary stability. The IUCN foundational definition of nature-based solutions requires that any action address a specific societal challenge, while simultaneously providing measurable biodiversity benefits. In 2022, the United Nations Environment Assembly adopted a nearly identical resolution, transforming NbS from a scientific concept into a standardized international norm. This standardized definition is now being used to harmonize efforts across major global treaties, including the Rio Conventions on Biodiversity, Desertification, and Climate Change. Strict standardization prevents greenwashing and allows for the precise measurement of progress across borders, ensuring that financial resources are used effectively. Without a shared definition, global resources are wasted on non-systemic green initiatives that fail to scale or provide long-term resilience. The framework becomes operational through a simple three-part equation. Action plus nature element equals a sustainable development goal outcome. For example, if we take the action of restoring a degraded mangrove forest, the equation first solves for the regeneration of local biodiversity and the protection of marine habitats. That same root system simultaneously creates a natural storm barrier, providing physical resilience for nearby urban centers. Finally, it improves local fishery yields, supporting the livelihoods and food security of the surrounding community. A single, properly managed ecological intervention can solve multiple global development goals at once. While these solutions support development, they are also critical to meeting the sharp mathematical demands of the climate crisis. This chart highlights total carbon mitigation required globally by 2030. Scientific analysis shows natural climate solutions can provide more than 1/3 of that volume cost-effectively. This specific mitigation volume is the critical variable needed to keep global warming below the 2-degree threshold. Unlike traditional carbon capture technologies designed for a single purpose, nature-based solutions deliver a high-yield return by supporting the ecosystems that communities rely on for water, food, and protection. Reaching our 2030 targets is impossible without aggressively leveraging natural carbon sinks. Global climate accountability is managed through nationally determined contributions, or NDCs, established under the 2015 Paris Agreement. Nature-based solutions must move from an optional consideration to a mandatory standardized pillar within every nation's NDC. A climate pledge that ignores the restoration of natural systems is structurally incomplete and unable to meet its targets. By universally adopting the IUCN standard, the international community aligns human political strategy with the laws of ecology. Standardized nature-based solutions provide the essential framework required to align our policy with the natural world and ensure our survival. Earth's ecosystems operate as a massive, perfectly balanced loop. Every drop of water, grain of soil, and breath of air interacts to sustain life. But centuries of treating nature as a machine to be dismantled, extracting resources with heavy mechanics and harsh chemicals, have broken that loop. We are now looking at rivers choked by thick layers of toxic chemical foam, creating dead zones where life can no longer survive. To reverse this, the United Nations and other leading global institutions realized humanity needed a complete change in strategy. This diagram outlines that new strategy, Nature-Based Solutions, or NbS. As seen here, the framework places actions that protect and restore natural ecosystems right at the center of international climate and biodiversity agreements. Instead of fighting nature, we have to partner with it. Drafting definitions and goals on paper is straightforward. The challenge is building the technology to execute this healing process at a massive landscape scale. This is where Vaidic Srijan comes in. They are a climate and agri-tech startup that builds technology relying entirely upon nature-based solutions and ecosystem-based approaches. Their science focuses on water bodies, treating a lake or river as the ultimate conjunction point where soil, water, and air exchange energy. When you heal this intersection, benefits push outward, creating positive feedback loops that revitalize the surrounding land and atmosphere. Take their eco-dredging technology. Instead of using destructive excavators to scrape out a lakebed, it promotes in situ decomposition. It breaks down the sludge deposits right where they sit and converts them into plankton to feed aquatic life. For flowing drains, a process called eco-drainar avoids concrete channels. Native plant species are strategically positioned along embankments, so roots naturally extract contaminants and prevent soil erosion as water flows. By mimicking what nature already does, these tools solve severe urban and agricultural challenges, like water security and pollution, without leaving mechanical scars on the landscape. To trigger this natural repair, they use cownomics and ecolining, completely non-toxic plant extract formulas designed to restore the native microbiota at those crucial conjunction points. On the land, their agricultural method, known as magic, outlaws monocropping. It creates an integrated zero-waste system where agriculture, aquaculture, and animal husbandry work in a continuous loop, so the waste of one becomes the wealth of another. Once these formulas hit the water, the biological cascade begins immediately. The native microbiota multiplies rapidly, rebuilding the foundation of the aquatic food chain. With the aquatic food supply restored, native fish populations return and thrive in the newly oxygenated, clear water. This abundance of fish ripples upward, rapidly attracting diverse flocks of aquatic birds back to the healthy wetland. And as the surrounding soil health improves, native vegetation takes root, drawing in bees and butterflies to pollinate the landscape. This sequence fulfills the exact mandate laid out by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, maintaining biological diversity and giving ecosystems the ability to naturally evolve over time. The real-world data confirms the strategy. Across 13 states in India, Vaidic Srijan has deployed these methods to restore over 100 million liters of sewage back into usable water and saved over 300 acres of dying water bodies. This is their ISO 2760-1 certificate of registration. Operating at this scale requires strict validation, and this internationally recognized standard officially certifies their exact management systems for water reuse in urban areas. These documents show their growing global footprint. The technology was recently nominated for the BRICS Solutions Awards and officially recognized by Russia's Green Future Initiative, proving this ecosystem approach is a reliable infrastructure model for the future. It proves the central philosophy of global conservation. Humans do not have to be a destructive force. Through cultural knowledge and ecological technology, we can be an integral, healing component of our environment. The most advanced technology of our future is the ecology of our past. By targeting the conjunction of soil, water, and air, we act as active stewards, securing a home of dignity and abundance for every life form on Earth.